Something big may have just happened in the waters near the Middle East, and the tension between Iran and the US might be entering a far more dangerous phase. Welcome to TimesXP. It's me, Three. Well, reports from Iran's powerful military wing, the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, claim that Iranian forces carried out a large-range strike against an American vessel far out in the sea. According to them, the target was a United States Navy destroyer operating in waters connected to the Indian Ocean while it was taking fuel from the US tanker ship. Iran says that it used two different types of missiles in this particular attack. One of them is Ghadar 380, a medium-range ballistic missile designed to travel hundreds of kilometers at a very high speed. Now here the other one is Talaieh cruise missile, which by the way flies lower and can maneuver in the air to reach its target more precisely. In the meantime, the Iranian officials also claimed that the missiles traveled more than 600 kilometers before striking the area where the American ships were located. According to Tehran's version of events, the missiles caused major fires on the vessel, forcing crews to respond to an emergency situation in the middle of the open waters. But yes, let me add on this point that there has been no independent confirmation from the US Navy about the level of damage or whether any American ships were actually hit. But the story does not stop there. Iran also announced that the narrow and extremely important waterway known as the Strait of Hormuz should now be considered a war zone. The stretch of water, it connects the Persian Gulf and the open ocean and is one of the most important oil routes on the planet Earth. Nearly 1/5 of the world's oil passes through this channel, and that too every single day. Iranian commanders warn commercial ships to stay away for now. And according to Iranian claims, more than 10 oil tankers that ignored those warnings were stuck during the escalation confrontation. And yes, at the very same time, ladies and gentlemen, the conflict appears to be spreading across the region. Iran-aligned groups say that they launched drones and missiles towards American military facilities in the Iraqi city of Erbil and also towards the US positions in Kuwait. If confirmed, then this would mean that the crisis is no longer limited to a single location. It would now involve land bases, sea routes, and long-range missile strikes across multiple cities. You know why this matters so much? Because the US Navy maintains one of the strongest naval presence in this region. The United States Navy regularly deploys destroyer, aircraft carriers, and missile defense systems to protect global shipping lanes and deter attacks on the oil infrastructure. Basically, a direct strike on an American destroyer, if it is verified, it could represent a major escalation in the confrontation between Washington and Tehran. It would also have global economic consequences. Any serious disruption in the Strait of Hormuz could send oil prices soaring worldwide, affecting the countries far beyond the Middle East. Well, for now, the situation remains extremely tense. Military forces across the region are on high alert, commercial shipping companies are monitoring the risk, and the governments are watching closely to see whether this confrontation turns into a larger naval conflict in one of the world's most strategic waters. In short, in the end, what happened as a regional confrontation could now be turning into multi-front crisis, stretching from the Persian Gulf to the Middle East and now Indian Ocean, involving missiles, drones, warship, and some of the most critical trade routes on the planet Earth.